Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to my channel. My name is Margaret Pinard. I'm a eclectic reader and sometimes writer, and we have a special thing today. I looked ahead several months ago and found that there was a National Ice Cream Day. It's the third Sunday of July, and it was unfortunately put into place by Reagan, but I think we can still celebrate ice cream, especially when it's so hot like it has been for many of us. So I actually struggled over which flavors to choose. I went through a lot of sorting and prioritizing, and I broke it down to 10, including a last minute poll on Voxer to two people who helped steer me right. So you'll hear about that one later. But yeah, so I just picked 10 flavors. They're all like, they're not all favorites, but I just chose prompts that I thought would relate to ice cream flavors to make it fun. So that's what we'll be doing today. And I tried to put as many people as I could from my subscription feed into the window to tag people so that they would do the tag. It is happening on Sunday, so I know you don't have an opportunity to do a tag Tuesday before the day itself, but hopefully you don't let that stop you. I just wanted to give a quick update. This thermometer is for the draft to digital sale so that I could avoid the fee. The update is that I have gotten another sale, which is great, but in trying to update books, I realized that when they merged my account from Draft to Digital and Smashwords, they were actually different logins. So I've just emailed them to ask if that means that I'll be paying two separate fees, even though they're merged. They're not accessible from one place. So I don't know if that means I have two DDD accounts and one only has Smashwords books and one only has D2D books, because that's pretty silly. So hopefully they can change that for me, or, seriously, just considering closing it all down. But I will wait until August to do that, so that if any of you want to buy books from the links below and help me try to avoid the $12 fee for at least one of those accounts, that would be awesome. I've got a question of the day, so I'll pop that up. What's the most unique flavor of ice cream you remember tasting? And with that, I'll go to the chat to say hello. So Eva was here and saying it's hot dog day today, because I'm trying to prepare you for ice cream day. So apparently it's hot dog day today. My baby cat is Pretty Hot Dog Girl, but we call her Hot Dog for short, which is very cute. And she says, hi. Julie is here. Hello. Desperately craving ice cream. Hey, 10 o'clock in the morning is not too early. I see Cat Paw. Yay! I want ice cream too. We never buy it because even in a double freezer bag, we can't get it home before it melts. Boo-hoo. That is truly tragic. We have an Elaine here. Hello. I just saw that there's a lot of wildfire smoke coming from Northern Ontario, so I hope you're doing okay with air quality there, Elaine. Oh no! Okay. Boo. Well, I didn't hyperlink all the tags. I just copy pasted them because I was trying to go through the whole thing. So I will go back and hyperlink, and we'll see. We'll see if I can tag your butt. Oh, yeah. Elaine says they liked your shorts. They were cute. We've got Julie says, I love the new avatar, Eva. Yay. Eva's on there. And oh, Shalonda, hello. Welcome. And Mike, we've got You Had Me at Ice Cream. Hi all. Yeah, that was a fun thumbnail to make this morning. Overwhelmed with how many profiles existed, so I downsized to the ones I use. I want to cross post regularly, but until I focus on my goal, I'm only on Meta and Facebook. Oof. Well, I avoid that area like a swamp. So I guess I will see you on here as whoever you choose to be, which is awesome. Thank you. Okay, and then we're starting to get answers in. So I'll leave the question of the day up, and we'll build up some answers for unique ice cream flavors, and maybe people will answer with ones from places like Salt and Straw that are very interesting. Let's go ahead and start. So the first prompt is going to be vanilla, but it's not because we're a vanilla person. Vanilla actually comes from a tropical orchid, the vanilla bean, where we get the flavor from. So it's actually quite fancy. Give us a book with a flower on the cover, and bonus if you can tell us what kind of flower. So I'm going to present mine. And this is actually kind of a funny prompt because I looked for flowers on the books that I was currently reading. And I have 3, but they're all graphic. So I've got Single, Living a Complete Life on Your Own Terms. There's a vase with flowers. Pretty. I don't know. I think that's a calla lily, which is red filter coated. I don't know. Could be a tulip. Really no telling. Meadowland, which is one I started and didn't really get into. That's definitely got flowers on there around. And I'm not sure what those are either. Meadow flowers. They're graphic illustrations, but they're very cut off. Hopefully you'll be better at doing this than I am. And then 32 Words for Field by Monica and Magan. We've got little flower doodles here. And of course, I have no idea what those are because I don't think they really look like anything. But flowers are popular on covers, I guess. I thought that was fun. Hands up if you like vanilla. I only like it when it's on pie because it doesn't compete. But, you know, if you get a really good vanilla, I can see that being like a favorite. Huh. Okay. Okay. Prompt number 2 is Mississippi Mud. I'm looking at the video here for my prompts. The chocolatiest chocolate. So it's like dark, deep chocolate, evoking the mud of the river, shaping the southern United States, the Mississippi River. Pick a book set in the south of any country or a story shaped by a river. And so I picked the south, but not my country. I actually just finished this book and it will be going into the next wrap up. Josephine Tay's A Shilling for Candles. I didn't know where it was set because it gives only names of towns that I had never heard of and are pretty generic, like Westover. So then I looked it up on Wikipedia and ding, 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 it's set in Kent. I know it was talking about the Channel, so it had to be in the south of England, but I didn't know where exactly. And A Shilling for Candles, classic era mystery from Josephine Tay, one of my favorite classic mystery authors, and set in Kent, actually on the beach. So yeah, not a river, but a beach, which is pretty close. So hopefully we have some fans of Josephine Tay here. First time reading that book. Obviously, it's a little beat up copy. It's one of these old, look at that, the green, not sprayed edges. I don't know why they did that, but it's like a 70s or 80s thing to do. Yes, so Mississippi Mud, one of my favorite flavors because I love all the chocolates. Prompt number 3, Swiss Orange Chip. Okay, so this is not anything people will have heard of, I don't think, but it was my favorite flavor of ice cream that they made at Slow Made Ice Cream. SLO for San Luis Obispo Made, MAID, because that was their brand. They had a little like Victorian made, and then it was the pun with like making ice cream, so it's made in Slow. It's a local place. It closed a long time ago, unfortunately. And Swiss Orange Chip is like impossible to find because it's their recipe, maybe? I don't know. They've gotten very close, though. It's like chocolate and orange with chocolate chips. Give us a book you remember from childhood, but no one else does. And this is always fun. It's a good opportunity to go back in time. So I have 2 real answers that I have for some reason here for nostalgia, for sentimentality, by some of my favorite children's book authors. Audrey Wood is one half of the pair, and Balloonia is one I got as a kid. It's signed by the author illustrator there when I was a little kid, so that's cute little inscription. It's about kids who lose their balloons and they end up following them and they end up turning into balloons in Balloonia in the sky. So it's just really cute kids book. The other one that I don't think anyone would know, Does My Room Come Alive at Night? And this is by Othello Bach. It's another one that was at my local bookstore, and I got a little inscription too. So apparently no one else in my family gets it because it's made out to me. So yeah, just really pretty, like kind of spooky. Your room coming alive at night and things interacting with each other without you. That definitely made me wonder if things came alive at night. And then I've got the ones that some people will have heard of, but not my people. I was growing up. I didn't have people who knew what Paddington was. Of course, I do now on Booktube, but these would have been classics that no one at my school would have known about. Paddington Bear. And also, Postman Pat. I just found this. I think my sister had this. It's a board books, tiny little board books, and it's missing one. It was like a collector's mini board book set. And then two more. We got Postman Pat's Secret, which I remember reading a lot, and Postman Pat's Foggy Day, which is paperback, whereas this is a hardcover. So yeah, I was definitely the Postman Pat girl in my family. So those ended up with me as well. And the reason, in case you don't know, that those are popular but not popular where I was is because when I was 2 to 3, I lived in England in Northampton, and they bought little kids books for me, brought them back, and that was when I was starting to read kids books, and it made an impression. So yeah. Okay, so we're at prompt 3, and that was fun. So let me go back and see if we've got chat that answers the questions. Let's see. Cat Paw answer. A most unique flavor was also the most delish I ever tried. Malinali flavor in the tiny ice cream shop in Malinali near Ciudad de Mexico, which is Mexico City. Malinali. Okay, you explain that later, so I'll keep going. Elaine says air quality is good. Okay, well, I hope it stays like that. Malinali is it Mayinai because it's a double L? It's a flower, but it tastes nothing like flowers. Interesting. Well, it's probably like saffron or vanilla. It's an essence of the flower. So it's 1 p.m. for Elaine, so she's getting ice cream. Excellent. The town is called Malinalco. Oh, okay. So it's a town that's named after a flower? No. The flavor is called Malinali, and the ice cream shop is in Malinalco. Okay, got it. And it's a photogenic place. That's very nice. Okay, so real vanilla, yes, much better than fake vanilla flavor. Yes. Vanilla with salted caramel ice cream. Vanilla with salted caramel. Oh, all together. I was trying to imagine you were going to say like a thing over the vanilla ice cream, but it's a vanilla with salted caramel ice cream. That sounds good. I have one of those in a sandwich in my freezer, in fact, the last one. Elaine says bubblegum ice cream. It was a pretty blue, but it didn't taste like bubblegum. Yeah, those are some interesting ones. Blue. Hi, Jim. Jim's got a What Are You Reading Wednesday where he's juggling multiple things, and that looked very interesting. So I just put it on my list to watch. I like gozinaki. It's based on Georgian New Year's dish. Interesting. What is in the New Year's dish that inspires this? What does it taste like? Nice book memory. Yeah, the kids' books are nice. Julie says for her answer, I was with a little kid and she ordered some neon-colored, super sweet flavor aimed at children. I tried a tiny spoonful and it was just awful. Well, okay. Very unique, I suppose. Julie says, I'm sticking to strawberry and mint chocolate chip. Those are 2 different flavors, I think, right? Thank you very much. Elaine says, loved Paddington Bear. Yeah. Eva says, I don't remember reading books for children as a child. Interesting. So you're getting your own renaissance in children's lit as a parent then, I suppose. Jim has a Paddington book published in the USSR in 1977. Isn't that cool? I have come across a few houseware items, actually. Some of the mugs I got from my grandma had made in West Germany on the bottom, stamped on the bottom, and I was like, West Germany, yes, that place. That's pretty cool. Piece of history, Mike Riffraff Reads has also asked about oldest book that you own. I think his was 1945, and I certainly have a few older than that. So when I answer his questions, which is his original tag, I will have some old books to dive into, which will be fun. Cat Paw answered the long defunct cookies and cream, which was raspberry, ripple, and shortbread biscuits and vanilla ice cream. What? Cookies and cream? Is it a different version that is defunct? Because cookies and cream has always meant to me like an Oreos in a vanilla, not raspberry, ripple, and shortbread biscuits. And okay, another unique flavor. People will hate this, they said. Salmiak ice cream in Finland. It's salted licorice. Oh, okay. I know what that tastes like. And you are right. I would not like it. Gozinaki is basically caramelized nuts. All right, that sounds like a good ice cream flavor. Nice. Eva says, I've had a children's book collection for a couple of decades. I plan to downsize them when I get to that area of the home library cleanup. Yeah. 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 I mean, I don't know if you're going to check in with the younger kid to see if he wants to keep any, because apparently I did. They're here now. Julie says, oh, Malinalco is beautiful. Julie must have Googled it or visited it. I don't know. Eva says, little golden books. I remember those as a kid. Yes, so do I, but I'm not sure if I remember the stories. Jack and Jill or fairy tales. Yeah, nice. Golden book form. Gotcha. Yes. Cool. All right. So 3 down, 7 to go. What else do we have? Prompt number 4, peppermint. Peppermint is proven to refresh the mind and spirit. Choose a book that you have read that you can certify was uniquely refreshing or refreshingly unique, however you want to think about that. I have 2 for this one because they're sort of different in different ways, unique. A Secret and Unlawful Killing by Cora Harrison. This is the one that is set in medieval Ireland, and the woman who is the amateur detective is a leader in the Brehon system, I think Brehon judge. Yeah, Brehon, sorry. And so you get to see a whole different legal system and a time period that is generally not treated. So I thought that was really cool. Unfortunately, this is a very hard book to find because it was one of those hybrid authors who switched over and the older books didn't get picked up, I don't think. So the first in the series is a very hard book to find, but it might be easier as an ebook. I definitely enjoyed this. Cora Harrison, Secret and Unlawful Killing, if you can find it. And then the other one that was very unique and refreshingly unique had more to do with voice. So The Fraud by Zadie Smith is a historical fiction that is sort of weaving in and out of Charles Dickens' life and taking into account his plots and taking in bits that are actually real history and putting them in to basically make people think differently about how they would perceive certain things. It's really interesting. So The Fraud is about someone coming back and being put on trial because he's trying to claim an inheritance, saying he's someone who's been away at sea in Australia for a really long time. And so the people who don't recognize him is just because he's changed. And people are like, I think you are not the person and you're just trying to claim the money. And so there's this whole thing where people are trying to determine it. And throughout the trial, which the sister-in-law, I believe, of Charles Dickens attends, and we see her life and Charles Dickens' life and some other people's mixing in. We get like some interesting satirical vibed observations, which I think is very Zadie Smith, having listened to her other book, Intimations. So that was very refreshing and like sort of a palate cleanser vibe, which was unique. Yes, I don't have, wait. Yes, I have White Teeth up there. I haven't read it yet. I read The Fraud first, and then I read or listened to Intimations, and I really liked both. They're not very in my lane, but they were very refreshingly unique and thought-provoking. One's fiction, one's nonfiction. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Julie Googled, not visited. Nice. All right, number 5 is Moose Tracks, Hands up if you like moose tracks. So this came into existence, I think, when I was in high school, junior high, around then. And basically, it was a great way to get Reese's peanut butter cups without buying Reese's peanut butter cups. It was like a vanilla that was but it had like a fudge ripple and little smaller than a peanut butter cup. They were like this. So it was kind of like they were moose footprints, but they had peanut butter inside chocolate. So it was like a peanut butter cup. And yeah, show us a book that is or was part of a recognizable trend. Because I think this was like very popular when it first came out. I don't know if people have really like kept up with it, but moose tracks used to be a favorite. Recognizable trend. If Ven sees this, this is the one I haven't read, The Cat Who Saved Books by Sosuke Natsukawa. Sorry, stumbling over that. Translated by Louise Heel Kawai. So this is a book I haven't read, but I've read a lot of cat POV cozy book stories lately, and I think it's definitely a trend to translate them from Japanese or Korean, especially. And I've enjoyed a lot of them. There's only a couple that I've been like, that was really not my thing. So I'm excited to read this. And I think Ven read it and said it was really good. So there's a personal recommendation on top of the, wave of great reviews for that book. Elaine says, I have Jack and Jill, the Little Golden Book. Also checked Mr. Pine's Purple House. From 1965. I love that book. It stresses it's okay to be different from other people. Mr. Pine's Purple House. I like that. I love that as a message. So, okay. So South Africa's ice cream flavors are not as adventurously named as yours. Well, okay. Does that mean you don't have any like unique combinations? Usually it's like fruit or nuts or, chocolate, maple syrup. I'm trying to think of like, that's pretty much the combinations that I can think of. But there's a couple places now that have copied them as well. But there's a place called Salt and Straw, which is an ice cream place here in Portland, and they come up with crazy flavors, and they're known for it. They do a good job trying to make different things interesting. But one time they had like a Thanksgiving feast. They had turkey flavored ice cream, but not just like turkey flavored ice cream. They like worked it into, it's a mashed potato with a butter. I don't know what they did, but they have all sorts of weird combinations, but they're all locally sourced and sustainably harvested. So I go there every once in a while to check out what they're doing. They've got different seasonal series, which is always fun to look at. All right. Moose Tracks number 6 is coffee. Coffee is a classic. I don't drink coffee, but I do like coffee flavored ice cream. It can be very sophisticated in its flavor profile, which is lost on me because I'm not a coffee drinker. But name a book that you've read that was so sophisticated you doubt your understanding of it. Now, this is very simple, similar to another book tag question, which is a book that was over your head kind of thing, which I've heard people answer. I don't think I've ever answered this one, but look at this. Look at this one. I enjoyed reading it. This is The Luminaries by Eleanor Catton. It was the Booker Prize in 2013, so it's been a while, and I kept it because I figured if I went back to read it, it would maybe make more sense because it was very sort of trust the process as you were reading. And then I read other people who were talking about how everything was related in like an astrological way or like a plot development way, which I didn't really see in the moment. So it definitely sophisticated, probably above my head, probably things going on that I sensed but didn't really understand how it was done. So I do need to reread this at some point to see if I can like X-ray vision it a bit more, but very sophisticated palette for that book. I figure that's what all the Booker Prize books are going to be like, right? Prompt number 7 is lemon. So the lemon tree was probably original to China because everything seems to be, but I always associate lemons with Sorrento. I don't know if anyone has been to Sorrento. It's a town on the southern coast of Italy. It is very popular for photographing the harbor, and it's very well known for its lemon flavored produce and its lemon groves. So show us a book set in a Mediterranean country. And for this one, I chose a book I haven't read yet by Mary Stewart called Madam, Will You Talk? And again, I didn't know where it was, and it's not necessarily easy to discover where a book is set by looking at the first few pages. So I Wikipedia'd it. It is set in Provence, says Wikipedia. And if it's wrong, someone can please let me know. But I do like Mary Stewart. She's got an interesting, unique style, 50s, 60s, 70s. And this was one of her early hits. She's a romantic suspense writer and fantasy writer when she writes Arthurian, but this is a romantic suspense. Combining her keen wit, zest for adventure, and eye for the details that make her characters interesting and memorable, Stewart leads the reader on a swift, breathless chase that turns this quiet story into a masterpiece of romantic suspense. So this is one of the reprints from Chicago Review Press. This is pretty easy to find. And yeah, I'm really enjoying reading all of Mary Stewart's backlist that is available. So Provence, it is southern France. It borders the Mediterranean as well as Italy on one side. So very Medi vibe there. Let's see. I missed. How did I get? Okay, Leslie's here. Hello, Leslie. Elaine says I had Reese's Pieces ice cream last time. Chunks of Reese's Pieces were so yummy. Yeah. To Mike, there was the second summer of frozen yogurt, and my favorite was Rachel's orgasmic frozen yogurt. It was the best. Nice. Did I miss something there? I don't think so. Okay. Chilanda. What's the channel name? It's Library Without Borders. Yeah, definitely check our channel out. All this talk about ice cream is making me want to go grab cookies and cream, one with a waffle cone. Delightful combination. Love it. I love whenever I walk by an ice cream store and I can smell the fresh waffle cones. That's always like a delight. Sensory experience with no cost. Jim says, I first windsurfed in Sorrento. Oh my gosh, but not in Italy. In Victoria, Australia, near Melbourne. That's funny. There's another Sorrento. Okay. Is it also known for lemons? I'd be curious. Mike says, in South Africa, the frozen yogurt summer, then it's just me who's missing out with vanilla chocolate, etc. Cat Boss says, it's a pretty gothy cover. Yeah, Mary Stewart. Dun, dun, dun. It doesn't really look like Provence. I mean, Provence has Roman ruins, and I think that's what they're getting at. I think that's like Roman with something else built on top of it. Maybe like 16th, 17th century. Who knows? Stuff is old over there. We've got Eternal Reading. Hello. Welcome. The Leopard comes to mind for me. I just saw that in a used bookstore lately. And I've heard so many people say good things about how intense and suspenseful it is. So that's a good one. All right. I think we're on number 8. Flavor number 8 is Mint and Chip. Mint and chip. It's a mint ice cream with chocolate chips in it, often like square chips for some reason. When I grew up, it was green. I normally eat it with being white because I think they put green food coloring in before to tell people it was mint. But anyway, I grew up when it was green, so green is my favorite color. It was a good match. Give us a book about the climate, whether fiction or nonfiction. Some of you may know I bang on about the climate. I'm the co-host of Climathon, the annual readathon where we read books about different aspects of the climate crisis. And Rachel, when she comes on to watch this on Team Replay, will love that I am featuring this one because she said it was so good. It's a series of stories, speculative stories and essays on protest, resistance, and hope called We Will Rise Again, edited by Karen Lord, Annalee Newitz, and Malka Older. So I haven't read it yet. I got it at the LGBTQ bookstore in my town recently, and it's both. It's actually a mix because it says essays, so it's fiction and nonfiction. I placed it in my fiction section. It's also got a really pretty cover. I'd like to see an ice cream that is that color. Wouldn't that be cool? Like a mix of all the fuchsia, turquoise, Orange sherbet. That would be a really cool ice cream flavor. Mint and chip. Number 9, flavor number 9, Stephen Colbert's Americone Dream. Now, I haven't actually tried this. I'm not a Ben & Jerry's fan, but it's pretty cool that he has a flavor named after him that he did in collaboration. But the reason I'm including this one, sounds like a good flavor. It's like, chocolate, fudge, swirled, all that kind of stuff, is because I love Stephen Colbert. And I think he showed great class in how he responded to his treatment by CBS. He's no longer on the air with the late night show. So show us a book by an author you wish was still around to entertain us. How about that? So where did I put them? Oh, maybe I just wrote it down. Yes, I wrote it down. So now I need to move my stack here. Okay, so one of them is already appeared here. Josephine Tey. Josephine Tey's real name was... Is it going to say in the book? Maybe not. Is it going to say on the copyright page? Nope. Also by Josephine Tey. Well, anyway, it was a pen name, and I wish she was still around because I think she'd have some very interesting opinions. And I'm sure her novels that I have not read yet would be great. I would also put into this category Jane Austen. I did not take the whole shelf of Austen books out, but Jane Austen would be lovely to have around to entertain us when we desperately need some wit. C.J. Sansom. Down here, I've got my C.J. Sansom mysteries. He's got 7 in the Shard Lake series, and had an early end, I would say. So it would be neat if he could come back and write some more of those, or a totally different series. He's a great storyteller. And then finally, I would say Sophie Kinsella, because I've got some romance books, one in particular that I really liked by her. And, she had a life cut short by a brain cancer, brain tumor, and fought that for a long time. So these are great writers and storytellers that I have enjoyed that are no longer with us. So I wish they were still here. And I'm glad Stephen Colbert is still here. I'm just waiting for him to find another venue, another vehicle for his rapier wit and, fun times. So that'll be good. One more prompt. Let me go back and visit the chat to catch up. Elaine says, I found Mary Stuart The Wicked Day about Mordred. I still need to read it. Yeah. If you haven't read any other Mary Stuart, it'd be interesting to see what you think about that one. The Wicked Day. I think it may be not the first in the Arthurian series, but if you know the legends well enough, you may be able to slot in. But everyone does them a little differently. So it may be confusing because you're assuming one thing and then she goes with another interpretation, So Mordred, very interesting. Off topic, says Julie. How do I put usernames in those orange boxes when I reply to them? Orange boxes, I don't know. Okay. Cat Paw is helping out. Thank you. The orange box is only visible to the person who is tagged, so that's why you can't make it appear to you when it's to someone else. But it's there. You have to trust. Eternal Reading says, J.G. Ballard, The Drowned World. Haven't read it yet, but I want to. Is this for climate fiction? Is that the spec fic question? That's a good one. Classic sci-fi writer. Ice bream? Is that a unique flavor? Is it fish flavored? Sea bream? Hi, Maggie. Going to town. All right. We'll be safe on the road. Yeah. All right. So we're helping. So very sad about Sophie Kinsella. It was quite a shock to hear of her death. I know. Makes me sad. Michael McDowell also gone. Amazing Southern Gothic horror. Michael McDowell. Oh, I think I've heard you talk about him. Yes. Okay. And then climate. Yes. Okay. The Drowned World. Do I have that? No. The way I first learned about that was actually I had a postcard set, like 100 postcards of classic Penguin book covers or something, and that was on one of them. And I thought, What an interesting cover. So that's how I learned about J.G. Ballard. All right, we're to the final flavor, and it is Neapolitan. So Elaine and Kat helped me pick this one because I was between Neapolitan and Spumoni, and it turns out there's a reason for that. Neapolitan is actually an American mix of 3 flavors. If you know, drop them in the comments. What is the combination of 3 flavors that is in Neapolitan? I'll wait for that to be put into the chat. But it was invented because people really liked the spumoni that was brought over by Neapolitans, or people from Naples or Napoli, and that is actually different 3 flavors. So let's see if we got Neapolitan first, and then I'll explain what spumoni was. And in the meantime, here's the article where I found this interesting fact, which is so cool. I'll just pop that in the chat. Chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. Yes, so Elaine got it, Julie got it, vanilla, strawberry, chocolate. Yeah, pink, white, and brown is like what people were writing in the article. And then it was based on spumoni, which is not as well known except in the Northeast because that's where the Neapolitan immigrants originally settled. It is actually, well, I'm not going to say it because this is a tag and you're supposed to find out for yourself. So I'll let people find it out in the comments or when they do the tag. But it was much more involved and it was much more Italian, closer to the earth flavors and than Neapolitan turned out to be. But, you know, who's to say which one is better? But for this prompt, I'm asking you, show us a book you loved with an immigrant storyline, because they're always improving our lives, whether it's in ice cream or inventions or, I don't know, knitting together community. So for that answer, I'm just going to point to my books in the corner here. These are all immigrant stories. Stormwreck and Spindrift is about immigrants re-emigrating back to Scotland, as well as trying to stay in Eastern Canada. The Keening is about the family in Scotland leaving, and Orla is about an Irish family that comes over to find their fortune and escape criminal prosecution. They come over to England and end up getting split up. So those are my immigrant stories. I thought that would be a good segue. So, but it's also great. I love to read them. So tell me your immigrant story favorites. Sounds nice. Eternal Reading says, now I want an ice cream. Well, you know, depending on what time it is in your part of the world and whether the shops are open, I hope you can find one. Ice cream teas. Not sure what that's about. Immigrant storyline. The Keening. There we go. There we go. Elaine said, I read The Keening, typing as you said it. Yay. Kapoff finished Stormwreck and Spindrift last week, and I still have a reading hangover. Oh, how'd you like the epilogue? Yes, I took great delight in that one. Oh, okay. Immigrant storyline, Dracula in London. We're going with speculative. Okay, nice one. Not telling us what spumoni is. Okay, so it's chocolate, cherry, and pistachio, but it also had little bits of candied fruit in it. So it's quite different, but the 3 flavors is what people wanted to experiment with. Jim's got another one, Americana from Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. That's a great one. I haven't read it yet, but I do like her. I've read a couple of her other books. Julie says, I'll have to think about the immigrant book as nothing comes to mind. Well, if you feel so motivated, these are available from the links down below in paperback and digital format to help me reach my little thermometer goal before mid-August. So we've still got a month to go. And Elaine says, that sounds delicious too. So yeah, spumoni or Neapolitan. Apparently both work for Elaine. I like it. Did I miss something earlier? Let's see. I heard about Muñeca by Cynthia Gomez last night and added it to my to-read list. It's still very pricey in EPUB. What was this about, Cat Paw? Is that entertainer that's no longer with us or immigrant storyline? I don't recognize the title, so you'll have to let us know. Jim is reading Wild Seed by Octavia E. Butler. They have just crossed the Atlantic from Africa to America. Oh boy, sci-fi. Excellent. And then Shalanda says, Behold the Dreamers. Yes, that is a very popular newer one by Mbolo Mboye. Yeah, great one. I know there's 2 different covers I have in my head for that one. And it was on my wish list for a long time. I don't know if it still is. Cat Plus is wondering if anyone here have read Muñeca? Gothic history. Okay, so not part of the prompts. Gotcha. Sweet. Well, that is the 10 questions for this original tag on ice cream and the little bonus fact about Spumoni and Neapolitan, which I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoy some ice cream today. If it's too late, there's always tomorrow. The 3rd Sunday of July is what is dubbed National Ice Cream Day in America. But of course, I think all of the month should be, I don't know, go time? What's the phrase I'm looking for? Free zone, free trade, something. Season, open season. That's the term I'm looking for. Open season for ice cream. Never too late for ice cream. Exactly. So whatever flavor you like, however weird it is, however refreshingly unique it might be, I hope you get to enjoy it in the near future. And for those in heat wave spots, please take care of yourselves. Be careful. Get those ice packs and whatever you need. And stay safe. Take care of yourself. Why not make it international? Well, it'll have to be like global north or global south because the seasons are different. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Okay, so like I said, 3rd Sunday is the day, but please feel free to do this tag anytime you like, especially during the summer, to inspire people to get some good ice cream and maybe know a new flavor and try it. Thanks everyone for being here during the stream, and thanks for Team Replay. I will respond to any comments, and we'll see you again Friday. Take care everyone, and happy reading.